What does it mean to be free? What does freedom look like? Epictetus said that the key to freedom is to control your mind. Your ability to think right about your circumstances determines whether or not you are a slave to those circumstances. He says, "It's not what happens to us that makes us miserable, but the views we choose to take on events that upset us." I realized that if I didn't set any boundaries, I would easily get lost in this virtual world. Even though I love staying connected with people, I've had to be intentional about the time I spend online. One thing social media quietly promotes is a culture of revenge and comparison. How do you deal with the downsides of social media? For example, Twitter is basically built around the concept of calling people out. You can ruin someone's reputation in a matter of seconds by tweeting a thread exposing their wrongdoings. And it seems like the only motivation behind it is to make yourself feel better by putting someone else down. But revenge doesn't make you feel better. It just keeps you stuck in the past. As the Stoics say, the best revenge is moving on, but we don't need to just move on. We need to actively pursue what's good for us, not just in reaction to someone else's bad behavior. Marcus Aurelius says you could stop living right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The question is, if you stopped living right now, would you be happy with what you have done with your life? If the answer is no, then you need to fix that. You need to reconnect with yourself, with your purpose. And the best way to do that is to take a break from social media. The Stoics believe that in order to truly understand yourself and what you want out of life, you need to be alone with yourself. You can't know who you are when you're surrounded by other people all the time. When you're alone, you're forced to confront yourself. You can't hide or distract yourself. You have to deal with whatever is inside your heart. In fact, the Stoics practiced a form of meditation called negative visualization, which involved imagining that you've lost everything you have right now. By doing so, you'll realize what really matters to you and appreciate what you have. Not only that, but you'll be able to see things in perspective. You'll realize that a mansion isn't as important as you thought while scrolling on Instagram. But your family and friends, now those are priceless. I have to remind myself that I'm in control. I can't get lost in the comparison game where I will forget my purpose. Seneca says, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Is not a goal, but a system. We are what we repeatedly do. What do you want to be known for? What kind of person do you want to be? Keep that in mind and evaluate your actions. Evaluate your habits. You can choose to see obstacles as opportunities. You can choose to see problems as challenges. Marcus Aurelius says, "Everything that is not necessary is distracting." I bet you know that if you opened Instagram right now, you would be served images of half-naked women and men flexing their muscles. You would see ads for diet pills, detox teas, and workout programs. You would see pictures of expensive cars and mansions and travel destinations. And it's not Instagram's fault. They're just trying to keep you engaged so you stay on the app longer. They want you to buy products. And that's exactly what happens when you open any social media app. It's full of things that aren't necessary, but they distract us from what is important. And it's so easy to lose track of time when you're scrolling through your feed. You open an app to check a notification, and before you know it, half an hour passed. The Stoics believe that everything should serve a purpose. If an object or a task doesn't have a clear purpose, it's pointless. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of this app in my life? Does it bring me joy? Does it help me learn something new? Or does it just distract me and waste my time? If it doesn't serve a purpose, delete it. Remember, less is more. You'll find that the fewer apps you have on your phone, the more time you'll have to focus on what matters most. And it's not selfish to do so. It's perfectly fine to put your own oxygen mask on first. If you don't take care of yourself, you won't be able to take care of anyone else. And you can choose to see failures as chances to try again and do better next time. No one can make you feel inferior. You must choose to internalize other people's opinions. Seneca talks about this. He says, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." We spend so much time imagining all sorts of scenarios in our head, and we feed our anxiety. We assume things will turn out bad when we do not have any proof or reason to believe so. Don't let social media treat you. Marcus Aurelius says the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So we need to pay attention to the kind of thoughts we allow ourselves to have, because they shape our mood, our character, our behavior. And if we don't choose the thoughts we have, someone else's post, someone else's story will dictate how we feel. You see, social media wasn't always around. Only now can anyone become famous overnight by posting a single video. But now there's a big difference between popularity and relevance. Being relevant doesn't require talent anymore. It just requires engagement. A person can gain followers just by posting cute pictures of themselves or their babies or pets. Everyone can become an influencer now, but not everyone has the power to influence. So there are millions of influencers that have thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers who don't really have any real-world skills or accomplishments. They're just good at taking selfies or telling stories. If you're not careful, it is very easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to these online personas and start measuring your self-worth by the number of likes you get. That's why rule number 1 is to remember that social media is a tool. It's a source of entertainment. It's a great way to connect with people, but it's not the source of your happiness. You are the source of your own happiness. Don't let others dictate how you feel about yourself. Rule 2 is to delete apps that don't serve you. Every app on your phone is a tiny thief stealing time, focus, and peace. The Stoics taught that true freedom comes from ruthless elimination of the unnecessary. If an app doesn't serve your growth, values, or tranquility, it's a burden disguised as convenience. Delete it. Your attention is your life. Stop trading it for distraction. Rule 3 is to disconnect to connect. The Stoics knew that presence is the currency of a meaningful life. Every minute lost to mindless scrolling is a minute stolen from real conversation, deep thought, or simple stillness. Disconnecting isn't about rejecting technology, it's about reclaiming your humanity. Put down the phone and you'll hear the world again. The unedited laughter of friends, the quiet wisdom of your own mind, the raw beauty of a moment untouched by filters. As Seneca warned, life is long if you know how to use it. So ask yourself, are you connecting or just distracting yourself from the connections that truly matter? So these are the 3 rules that help you stay mentally free on social media. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your rules?